Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here. On today's review for you, it's time to break out the oven mitts because if you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Black Flame is a 10.5% Imperial Stout from White Flame Brewing Company in Hudsonville, Michigan. Viewer Preston Phillips clued me into this stout about a year ago, and honestly, I wasn't sure if I'd ever see the day where I'd have one of these in my hands. Now today, we've got White Flame Brewing Company's Black Flame Imperial Stout, which is a yearly release from White Flame to celebrate their anniversary. This year it looks to have been released on January 23rd, and somehow it made its way over here to the east side of the state and into my hands. I was actually really surprised to see it on the shelf near me, and it was priced at $17.99. Let's have a gander at the label, and then we'll get this goose into a glass. Fun fact, White Flame can burn up to 10,340 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I'm going to use a tulip glass today. And so on the front here, obviously you can see it's got gold wax, it's gold wax seal. It's 1.6 fluid ounces and 10.5% alcohol by volume, as I mentioned before. And on the front, it says Black Flame Imperial Stout. It has White Flame's logo, and in front of that, it has a crown with some jewels and some, I don't know what those are called, that come off the top of the crown. And then on the back, it says 7 years in the making, Black Flame is back. And this year, Dark Horse Farms in Marshall, Michigan provided the pure maple syrup for this bourbon barrel-aged high-gravity maple stout. 2019 7th anniversary edition, brewed and bottled by White Flame Brewing Company in Hudsonville, Michigan, and their website, whiteflamebrewing.com. So as you have heard on this label, this is a maple stout, or maple syrups used, or maple bourbon barrels, maple syrup bourbon barrels, and those are provided by Dark Horse. So this has a wax seal. I've only opened one other wax sealed bottle on this channel, and I honestly couldn't tell you if I even remember how long it took for me to get the wax off of it. Wax is nice. Does it actually hold anything, any kind of carbonation in? I don't know. I just hope I don't cut my fingers off with this box cutter. So let's see if I've got enough off of here that I can actually pop the top on this bottle. All right, so let's see if I have enough broken off here now. I do. All right, cracking the top on this. Set the bottle aside, set this wax aside. Let's get a sniff out of the bottle here. Ooh, smells like a lot of maple. A lot of bourbon too. So let's go ahead and pour this. Coming out black as oil out of the bottle here. Getting a little bit of agitation, a lot of splashback all over my countertop here. And as you can see, it's got a coffee colored head. We'll look at the top, we'll look at that overhead. And it should have a nice coffee colored head, like I said, about one finger, lots of really big bubbles, getting a lot of really good smells out of the glass, kind of emanating in my little area here. Let's go ahead and pick it up and put a better nose on it. Yeah, that smells like big time bourbon. Getting some maple in the scent as well. Actually, it's probably 50-50. There's a lot of maple in there, but there's a lot of bourbon too. These days, there's a lot of maple bourbon barreled stouts, bourbon barrel aged stouts. So it's got some big shoes to fill. But I'm getting, I think, equal parts kind of that bourbon scent and also the maple scent. I'm ready to go ahead and dive right in. So cheers. Oh, and holding it up, hold your horses. This is black. This is really dark. I'm not seeing through this at all. There's no way. I'm barely seeing any kind of coloration besides just this black on the bulb of this glass. On the bulb of the tulip glass, you can sometimes see a good kind of indication of what the color is. It's coming just as a really dark brown, dark purplish brown. So let's go ahead. And the head now is just kind of sticking around. It looks like a nice layer of foam is just hanging in there. So cheers. Wow, that is really sweet. It's got a really sweet maple taste to it. The aftertaste that's hanging in my mouth now is maple. I thought I'd get a lot of bourbon, and I do get a taste of bourbon, but it's not in your face, super strong bourbon. It's more, the maple's kind of taking over a lot of that. Man, I really wish I had a second bottle to age and see how it kind of matures, because sometimes the bourbon kind of dies down and the maple kind of pops up. But this, I'm getting a lot of maple just from the start. It is really good. It's really like borderline almost too sweet. So I'm getting a lot of that maple. I know the bourbon's in there because I can kind of feel a tiny tinge of a burn, and I get a tiny bit of that kind of sweet bourbon kind of bite on the taste as well. But it is pure maple with really light roasted malty characteristics. And there's a bit of a chocolate on the tail and the finish as well, but then that finish is overtaken by just pure maple bourbon, syrupy, kind of just really nice. The mouth feels really creamy, really smooth. 10.5%. I mean, again, I can feel a little bit of that bourbon burn, but 10.5% in this is very well hidden. It's just really smooth, really creamy, really nice. It's probably one of the best mouthfeels on a stout, on a maple bourbon barrel aged stout that I've had probably ever. I mean, I'm kind of, there's so much maple bourbon barrel aged stuff out there that you can kind of get tired of it, but I don't think I've had one that has had this smooth of a kind of mouth character going on throughout the entire thing, and the swallow is so easy. This is supremely dangerous. I could see myself getting into a lot of trouble. I mean, I poured myself a pretty big helping, so if you're going to open one of these bad boys, you probably want to have a friend and maybe do snifters and just kind of, tasters or whatever, and just kind of parse it out throughout the night. Maybe you're going to watch your March Madness and you're going to root on your Sparties, or you're going to root on the Wolverines. Invite a buddy over, split a bottle of this. That would be a good night. Maybe have two of them, and at the end, it would be a real good night. All right, friends, that has been Black Flame by White Flame Brewing. If you happen to find yourself in the White Flame tap room, mention that you saw their beer right here. Now, I know it's available in the west side of the state, but have you had Black Flame, or do you have any other White Flame beers that you really like? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like Michigan beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about Michigan beer twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I have a feeling I'll be talking about a beer that might just be your next favorite. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by, and remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries wherever they are, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.